Hey there. So, I want to talk about Nintendo for a second because it's been very interesting lately. First of all, let's start off with some good news. I want to talk about Metroid Dread. Incredible game. If you play that game, you know it's amazing. It's a shorter game, but I mean, for people like me, games like that they're kind of difficult. So it took me like I don't know, maybe like 20 hours or something. Like obviously in the game it said that it took me like 11 or 12 hours, but it was more like 20 hours. It took me a while. But that's how I like to play games like that. I just take my time and eventually, get to the end. And it was fun. The story was amazing. One of the best Metro games I've ever played. And it's incredible, and it's good to see it selling well. And I think that it will be the best selling Metroid game in the history of Metroid. So that is incredible to see, and I just want to give applause to that. And I just want to start off by talking about that and how amazing that game is, how beautiful it is, right? I look at that game and I'm just looking at the graphics and like how it runs and everything, and I'm just like, this is incredible. Like it's absolutely incredible how good it looks, And I know a lot of Nintendo first party games look great, but it just had me thinking, especially yesterday. The Crysis Trilogy came out. Now I haven't played 2 and 3 yet, but I did get Crysis Remastered on the Switch when that came out like months ago, and I got it's like it's impressive. It's so impressive. Like it's amazing, and it just has me thinking. People were so angry at Nintendo, like about, oh, you didn't release the Switch Pro, which they never said they were going to release it. People just got it in their minds that they were going to. So that, like, understandable. They never said they were going to release the Switch Pro. People just thought that they were, and they got upset when it wasn't released. But like, that's how it is. But back to my point, you look at things like Metroid Dread, you look at like I don't know Luigi Mansion, you look at Doom and Doom Eternal, you look at The Witcher 3, you look at the Crysis Trilogy, and Crytek is they've made one of the, at least from what I've seen, one of the best running and best looking games on Switch, and it just goes to show like if you put that effort in, like anything is possible. So when I see like all these games coming out there, like cloud versions of, for example, Kingdom Hearts. I never was really a fan of Kingdom Hearts, but when I saw that announcement for the Kingdom Hearts game on Switch, and they said they were cloud versions, it just didn't make any sense to me. Even I was upset, and I don't even play those games. So it's just weird to me. It's like you don't put this effort in, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of talk about, especially the last week or so, about emulation and everything. I don't think that people should emulate new games like Metroid Dread unless it's just really hard for you to somehow get a retail copy. Then as long as it's like a legal emulation, it's whatever, you know. Then do your thing. I don't think it's possible that you don't need to really do that for new games. But, and this will lead into my next point, I do understand people trying to emulate things like Game Boy games or, uh, N64 games or whatever. And that's on Nintendo with that one. Obviously, a lot of people have probably seen like all the stuff about Nintendo Switch Online that just came out, and when they start talking about it in the last direct, I was like, okay, this sounds pretty cool. I can play Switch games, I can play Sega games. I don't really care about the Sega Genesis, but I would have played those games if it was a like pretty fair price. But as everybody saw, I mean, it went up $30. Like 20 a year, I'm fine with that. I'm not sitting here saying that Nintendo should, for $20 have like the best online ever, but there's a lot of features that they don't have. And paying $50 for them, like it's only about $10 or something cheaper than like Xbox Live or something. And it just doesn't seem worth it. You know what I mean? So maybe in the future it will be more worth it, but right now it's just not. Like I had to say that. It's just not. So yeah. And this is the thing that kind of a lot of people pointed out, and I had to agree, and it's just very upsetting. It seems that Nintendo kind of threw in like an Animal Crossing DLC with this pack so they could justify having people pay $50. And if somebody wants a family plan, which means they can use it on more than one Switch, they have to pay like $80, and that is pretty insane to pay $80 for a year of being able to just play games because there's not really much other incentive to it other than you get to play N64 games or Sega games or NES and SNES titles. So it's like there's not much incentive. There's not voice chat. There's not themes. There's not free games all the time. There's trials sometimes, but like I was one of those people who was defending Nintendo because I was like, listen, the online and everybody knows I'm a huge Nintendo fan. You can see it if you go on my page. I talk about Nintendo games all the time. But yeah, this to me is like it's not good. It's not good at all. Like if they would have included more, and maybe they will in the future, like I said, who knows? As it stands, it's not really worth it to pay $50 for NES and SNES games and then an Animal Crossing DLC. Like I love Animal Crossing; it was an amazing game. I played the shit out of that game. I played like over 300 something, maybe 400 hours of that game in 2020. It like saved my, I wouldn't say saved my life, but it was I needed Animal Crossing in 2020. That being said, and I'm glad that they're doing all this free DLC for Animal Crossing, including it as part of this new expansion pass is just not a good look. Because not everybody plays Animal Crossing, not everybody is still playing Animal Crossing. And nobody wants that. Like, I'm sorry, but N64 games, the Sega Genesis games, are not worth an extra $30. So I'm pretty sure that the Animal Crossing DLC is what they're using to justify that jump in price. And that is not right. So what I think Nintendo should do, and they're probably not even going to see this, I doubt that many people will even see this, but if they do happen to see it, anybody at Nintendo, what they should do is offer a different plan where you can pay like maybe 10 or 15 bucks extra. I would say like maybe 10, and you can play Nintendo 64 and Genesis because people have been waiting since like the SNES games came out for something else to come out for Nintendo Switch Online. They were like, oh, Game Boy game's gonna come out, or Nintendo 64 or GameCube. And they've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and now it's like, oh, I have to pay an extra $30 to do this. It's like I can go, back to my parents' house in Arizona and grab my own Nintendo 64 and play that if I want to. Like I'm not gonna pay that much extra to pay N64 games. I can just go play these on there. And I understand that they have deals with like probably Microsoft and stuff like that, so they can get Banjo-Kazooie and stuff like that back on there. But somebody brought up a great point. Even though there was a failing console, the Wii U, the online was free and you could play like all these games for way cheaper. So it's like, why would I want to pay that much more to play these on there? And like I said, I love Animal Crossing, but I'm still very on the fence about getting this DLC. Like I don't know if I'm gonna keep playing it that much that I want to do this happy home designer stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, like it's good, but I'm not gonna get that DLC, and I'm not gonna get this expansion pass to get that DLC. Luckily, the expansion pass is optional, but it still kind of sucks that if you want to play N64 games and you've already had Switch Online, and you've been waiting for something else to release for Switch Online other than SNES and NES games, that you're basically just shit out of luck. And then they're not really adding anything new for regular Switch Online. So it's like, what's the point? Honestly, to me, and I love Nintendo, but I feel like they're shooting themselves in the foot with this. It's not going to work out in their favor. I can see a lot of people just kind of canceling their online thing and everything. Like, obviously, I'm going to use it because I play Switch a lot. I do play their games online and stuff, Super Smash Bros, Mario Kart, whatever. I play a lot of that online still. I do that, so obviously I'm going to still use that. But I don't see any point in upgrading to that. Until they add more value in the future, they start adding things like themes or voice chat or folders or better overall online experience, something, then I don't really see the point. Maybe they start adding more like free games that you can play, then I could possibly see justifying that price. Especially if somebody gets a family plan, but right now, as it stands, it's just not worth it in my eyes. Maybe some people are like, oh yeah, I want Sega Genesis, I love that. I want Nintendo 64 because I don't have one anymore. I lost it when I was younger, it doesn't work anymore. And maybe they're like, I love Animal Crossing, I really want Happy Home Designer, I was thinking about getting that DLC anyway. Then maybe they'll be like, yeah, completely justified, I'm gonna get it. But for me personally, and I'm sure for a lot of people, if you look at the YouTube video for Nintendo, there's a lot of dislikes. So a lot of people, it's just not, it's not worth it, and it seems it's a little bit weird. It's a lot, and when they didn't talk about the price when they first announced it, I was already like, I think it's gonna be a lot. I was hoping it would be like maybe $15 increase, but it was a lot. I mean, I don't know. Uh, Nintendo, if you see this, please just maybe give somebody another like tier or something between the two tier memberships, so they can at least just get Nintendo 64 games or something. Like you still make money. It's fine. You still make money. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, this is your boy Will. That's my little rant for the day, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I will see you on the next one. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and see you later. Peace.